It is officially summertime and I am officially done university online convocation at all, which means I can now start putting all of my focus and energy into tackling my summer TBR. So here's the situation. I have more than 30 books on my summer TBR and I'm not going to finish all of them. That's just the truth. This is more of the list I will be selecting my summer reads from. In the summertime, I usually lean towards reading lighthearted, cute, romantic, contemporary books. So that is mostly what this list comprises of. However, I am also making the conscious effort to diversify the content I'm consuming, and a huge part of that for me is through books. I'm always working on educating myself, and in light of the most recent push of the Black Lives Matter movement, I've been seeking out different resources to help me become a better ally and to recognize my own biases and my own privilege. I'll link below some of the resources that Miranda and I have compiled that we found to be helpful, as well as some different places that you can sign petitions and donate and contribute to supporting Black Lives Matter. This is a fight for human rights, and even as our timelines are starting to look normal again, we cannot stop now. There is no going back, there is only going forward. There are so many books out there, as well as free online courses and movies and documentaries. There is no excuse to be ignorant in this day and age. I know that we don't have a huge audience here on Bookish Potatoes, but I believe a platform is a platform, and as a white person, I have an immense amount of privilege. If you are not actively being anti-racist, it's not enough. Not now, not ever. And if you're also a white person, do better. We need to do better. It's as simple as that. It's actually not as simple as that. You need to be putting the work in and doing the work. With all of that being said, I also think it's really important to just read about Black people living their lives on top of the other educational reading that we should be doing. I recently read You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson, and while the book does cover topics like racism and homophobia and mental illness, it's also about a teenage girl just living her life in high school, spending time with her friends, developing new friendships, not wanting to let down her family, trying to fit in amongst her peers, falling in love. It had everything I love about YA contemporaries and then some, and I think it's now officially one of my favorite young adult contemporary novels. I couldn't get my hands on a physical copy of the book because it just came out, but Miranda actually recommended the audiobook to me, and even though I'm not usually an audiobook fan, I cannot recommend it enough. Definitely pick it up if you haven't. And on that note, here is my list of summer reads that I cannot wait to dive into. The first book on my list is one that came out over 10 years ago, The Summer I Turned Pretty Trilogy by Jenna Welch. Now, of course, I've read To All the Boys I Loved before it was ever a movie. Okay, listen, I was once on BookTube, even though, well, you know how that went. But I love Jenna Welch, so I feel like I should read the original Jenna Welch books. I think Miranda read them, and I'm pretty sure she recommended them to me back in like middle school. Gotta get on that. The next book on my list also came out quite a while ago, back in 2014, and that is For Real by Allison Cherry. This book is about two sisters who I believe they enter like a reality television competition together. The thing that really gets me is their names are Miranda and Claire, so basically this book was written for Bookish Potatoes. I also will admit that I am trash. I have always watched the show Big Brother. It's the only reality television I watch. It's terrible, but I love it. This book just gives me like Big Brother kind of vibes, and I feel like I've never read a book where people are on a reality television show. I think it could be a good time, especially since because of COVID, there is no Big Brother this year. This might be my fix for the summer. The next book on my list also came out in 2014, and that is A Little Something Different by Sandy Hall. This story is actually told from the perspective of people on the outside of a relationship. Looks like a cute summer read. Gotta do it. Then we have Summer Days and Summer Nights, 12 Summer Love Stories. This book I think actually includes a bunch of short novellas, 12 stories, go figure. And there are a bunch of authors. Let me see, who wrote this book? Oh my gosh, I kind of forgot about this. Oh my gosh, Cassandra Clare and Veronica Roth are on here, which I was not expecting, even though I clearly knew this at one point in my life when I added this to my list. But we also have our contemporary YA go-tos, Jennifer E. Smith, Stephanie Perkins. Wait, this actually looks so good. Why have I not read this? I think I have always wanted to, and I just haven't been able to find a physical copy. The next book on this list is the sequel to Love and Gelato by Jenna Welch, and that is Love and Luck. I read Love and Gelato when it first came out and thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I've been wanting to read the sequel ever since, but once again, like most of these books on this list from the early stages, I just haven't been able to get my hands on a copy. I feel like the first chunk of these books are like the ones that my library just hasn't had, and despite what you see here, I don't really buy books that much. I only really buy books when I already love the author, hence the insane amount of Sarah Dessen, Cassandra Clare, and Sarah J Maas. And I'll buy books if like I read it from the library and really love it and know I'm going to read it over and over again. Like all of these books I've read a bunch of times. Haven't been able to get a copy of this one. Hopefully I will someday this summer. Next up is the only Casey West book that I have not read that came out before 2020, because there is a new one that I have not yet read, but it came out this year, so that's okay. I love Casey West so much. I think her books are just like the perfect amount of lighthearted, cute contemporary. It's not like the writing is like phenomenal and it blows your mind. It's just cute and you can get through those books in like a sitting. And the only one I haven't read is P.S. I Like You. This girl in chemistry class is scribbling things on her desk, and then someone else comes in and like they're scribbling, and then they become like pen pals through graffiti. Only who is he? Next on this list is Jasmine Guillory's The Wedding Date, and I believe there are actually several books. I don't know if this is like an actual series or if it's just like crossover storylines. All of them look very cute, and I am very prepared to just read them all this summer. The next one is Geekerella by Ashley Poston. I'm really bad with names, I'm sorry. And it just looks like a cute fangirl, potentially love story, definitely love story. What more could you want? Next on the list is Christine Riccio's Again But Better. I mean, let's be real, Pulled Banana Books is how we discovered BookTube, how Miranda discovered BookTube and then introduced me to it, and also why we are obsessive fangirls. Really, I mean, her channel was like a game changer for us at 12, 13 years old, so gotta read this book. And also I've always wanted to go study abroad in London. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I wanted to study abroad in London because of Christine's videos from when she was studying abroad in London. And now I've graduated university. It's fine, we can always get our masters. Next on our list is What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. This book got a lot of hype back in 2019, which wasn't that long ago. I think it's an LGBTQ+ contemporary romance. I actually don't know that much about it, but looks cute, has a nice cover, got a lot of hype, and I always hop on that hype train. We'll be reading. Next up, we have another book that is on this YA hype train, and that would be Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. What happens when America's first son falls in love with the Prince of Wales? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. And then the next one there's been a lot of talk about lately, and that would be The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I'm ashamed I still haven't read this book. I know a movie came out, I think like maybe a year ago, and I haven't seen the movie because I keep waiting to read the book, and I feel like at this point I just don't have an excuse, and I really just need to read it, even if it means going out and buying it, because from what I've heard it's incredible and I'm sure it's one I'll want to read again. The next book on this list is Jennifer E. Smith's Field Notes on Love. I love Jennifer E. Smith's books. I've read all of them, and her books have like a fine line of being like really cute but also like, ooh, now we're serious. Looks like one of those books where you're like, oh, it's like a little meet cute situation, and then like bubbles burst. I feel like I usually read her books in the summer, so it's okay. We're gonna do it. And going off of authors that I love, we have Casey West's newest book, Moment of Truth, which is the third book technically to the Love, Life, and the List trilogy? I don't know what this is gonna be. I think it's just like the characters kind of overlap. I love Love, Life, and the List. I own Love, Life, and the List, even though I originally got it from the library. The second book, it was something about like first kiss or something, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was cute, but I think it was about a girl who's like an actress and she was on a movie set, and my actor's brain was like, I enjoyed it, but not as much as Love, Life, and the List, because that book was just like, oh that one got my heart. It was just so cute. So I'm very excited to read this newest overlapping storyline and maybe get to see some of the characters that I love. And another contemporary sequel, I think this one is, Emery Lord's The Map From Here to There. This is the sequel of The Start of Me and You, and I think I read that book a few summers ago. Loved it. The next book on my list is Well Met by Jen DeLuca. This is Jen DeLuca's debut novel. It looks like it's just a cute rom-com. This girl ends up getting roped into volunteering for a Renaissance fair. The synopsis mentions Shakespeare conspiracy theories, and as a theater major, I am on board. Next on the list is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. So it's about this babysitter who takes the toddler she's babysitting to a local food market, and the security guard of this market accuses the babysitter of kidnapping the toddler. Meanwhile, the white mother tries to fix the situation, and it sounds like just makes things worse, probably from a lack of understanding her own privilege. We will have to read and find out. So the next chunk of books on this TBR pile either came out this year or still have yet to come out later on in this summertime season, which I am pushing through to September, you know, the actual season. It's not like I'm going back to school. These are like the official 2020 summer books to read. This book has been getting a lot of talk, technically not a young adult book, I think it's adult. That is Big Summer by Jennifer Weiner. Basically, this woman has to be her ex-best friend's maid of honor. Why? I don't know. We'll have to read the book to find out. It's a sparkling novel about the complexities of female friendship, the pitfalls of living out loud and online, which most of us do, hello booktube, and the resilience of the human heart. Next on this list is A Love-Hate Thing by Whitney D. Grandison, which, like, who doesn't want to read about a love-to-hate relationship? Nope, a hate-to-love relationship. There it is. Then we have The Life and Medieval Times of Kit Sweetly by Jamie Pacton. So this girl works as a waitress at a cheesy medieval-themed restaurant in the Chicago suburbs and wants to be a knight because it comes with like a pay raise. Looks like there's a little bit of a she's the man situation going on. It just looks fun. Next on this list we have Yes, No, Maybe So by Becky Albertalli and Aisha Saeed. It's a resonant, funny, and memorable story about the power of love and resistance, and who doesn't love that? There's something going on here with political canvassing and local activism. Fun, cute, lighthearted. Then we have Unscripted by Nicole Kronsner. This is a YA debut novel about the toxic masculinity at a famous improv comedy camp. Basically, a 17-year-old girl has her whole future as a comedian planned out with improv camp, then Second City, then Saturday Night Live, and if you are a theater nerd, you know what that means. Even if you're terrified of improv like me, you still know. Next on this list is The Perfect Escape by Susan Park. It's about these two teenagers who need money, so they enter a weekend-long survivalist competition and maybe fall in love, but we don't know because we haven't read the book. But like, I feel like that's the theme with this list because that's what I'm here for with my summertime contemporaries, thank you. This next book is a romantic drama that will appeal to readers of Jenny Han and Sarah Dessen, so me. And that book would be This Train Is Being Held by Ismay Amiel Williams. I'm so sorry if I ruined that. These two kids meet on a train and like they see each other and they're like, hey there. And then something happens and fate throws them together. And I think, could be wrong, but I think it's the train being held with them in it, because this train is being held. The next one Miranda actually recommended to me, and then I started seeing it on all sorts of people's reading lists, and that is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. Miranda's already started reading this one, and she told me a little bit about it, but she said that it was one I might just want to like go into without knowing too much, but it sounds like it's gonna be an emotional time. Not your cute, light-hearted summer rom-com, but my other kind of favorite book is the contemporary novels to just like grab your heart and just like, oh. Next up is Emma Lord's Tweet Cute. And you know I love a good meet cute, and you know I love Twitter. Basically, these two high schoolers who hate each other but probably actually just love each other have like a Twitter war that goes viral, but they're also falling for each other on this anonymous chat app. So it's kind of like You've Got Mail. What's You've Got Mail based off of? It's based off of something else, and now I can't. She Loves Me, the musical, which every soprano knows because of the song Vanilla Ice Cream. And the musical is based off of a book, I think, but we love this trope, we love this storyline. It sounds great. Next on this list is Lucky Caller by Emma Mills. High school senior takes a broadcasting class, and it's a disaster because, of course, there's like fandom wars happening, there's family drama happening. It's a story about believing yourself, owning your mistakes, and trusting in human connection. Who else misses human connection right now? Next on this list, we have a book that is actually coming out in July, and that is Lovelace by Alice Osman. And I'm actually just gonna read a bit of the synopsis because I feel like I won't explain this right. Georgia has never been in love, never kissed anyone, never even had a crush. But as a fanfic-obsessed romantic, she's sure she'll find her person one day. As she starts university with her best friends in a whole new town far from home, Georgia's ready to find romance, and with her ongoing roommate on her side and a place in the Shakespeare Society, her teenage dream is in sight. But when her romantic plan wreaks havoc amongst her friends, Georgia ends up in her own comedy of errors, and she starts to question why love seems so easy for other people but not for her. With new terms thrown at her, asexual, aromantic, Georgia is more uncertain about her feelings than ever. Is she destined to remain loveless, or has she been looking for the wrong thing all along? I read the synopsis and I was like, where was this book when I was starting university? I'm very excited to read this one. I feel like this is maybe my most anticipated read of the summer. The next book on my list is Emily Henry's Beach Read, and this just looks so cute. I haven't read it yet, but I already want a movie of it. It's about these two authors who are neighbors at these beach houses for the summer, and both of them have writer's block, so they decide to like switch things around and write for each other's genres instead, and to help each other out. They go on different field trips that are worthy of any rom-com montage, and have to interview surviving members of a backwoods death cult. I just feel like it's going to be hilarious and cute, and it sounds like it'll be a great beach read. Next up on this list is Now That I've Found You by Christina Forrest, a YA novel about searching for answers, love, and your eccentric grandma in all the wrong places. This girl is basically poised to be Hollywood's next big star, and then she ends up being blacklisted. Her grandmother is this old Hollywood star, so she's trying to get her to like give her good PR, and she's disappeared, so she has to go find her. Enter cute musician who will help with this. They go on a wild manhunt across New York City. I mean, it has Hollywood, it has love, it has New York. Basically all I want in my life. Wait, this is by the exact same author. But Now That I Found You comes out in August, and I Want to Be Where You Are, the next book, came out in June. How did she write 2 books for 1 year? Pop off. Oh my gosh, this book came out in 2019, I'm dumb. But still, 2 books in 2 years. It's very good. This girl wants to apply for a spot at the dance conservatory of her dreams. Live your dreams, kids. She devises a secret plan to drive 200 miles to the nearest audition. Her annoying neighbor insists upon hitching a ride. You know, a little bit of a road trip going on here, a little bit of romance going on here, a little bit of chasing your dreams, self-discovery. Love it. And the final book on this list, we made it, comes out in August, and that would be Don't Ask Me Where I'm From by Jennifer DeLeon. First generation American Latinx Liliana Cruz does what it takes to fit in at her new, nearly all-white school. But when family secrets spill out and racism at school ramps up, she must decide what she believes in and take a stand. It looks like it's about family and high school and fitting in with peers, but also will delve into subjects like racism, which once again is just so important to always be reading about. Now more than ever, I'm very aware of the content I'm consuming, as well as the content I have not been consuming in the past. And there we have it, the summer list. This book video is just so long. This took so long. So here's the tea, because I'm fueled on musicals and tea. This is my official general TBR list. There's a lot on here. I just found Goodreads was like getting hard to organize. Whenever I'd go onto the library website, I wanted to be able to know exactly what to look for based on like what genre I was feeling. There are more contemporary books that were not on this list. There are biographies, series I have to finish, fantasy, classics. Anyone wants me to make a video going through the rest of the books on this crazy long list, I am more than happy to. But if you're also like, what the heck did I just watch? Understandable, we don't have to do this. Next week, I'll actually be participating in Fantasy-a-thon. So I'll probably make a separate video with like my list for the readathon as well as like just a general fantasy TBR because it's not nearly as long as my contemporary one. And if you like these kinds of videos, just leave a comment, let me know. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Happy summer. Goodbye.